Hi everybody, it is Gaz Jackson and today I am discussing Queensland governments and all their wisdom and their new proposal or discussion paper to ban several more breeds here in Queensland, which is going to erode your rights, restrict you from owning dogs and make it a lot easier for them to confiscate your dogs, enforce it and kill your dog. Some of them statewide bans on restricted breeds, reviewing penalties for the owners of dogs that cause harm. So it's obviously going to be a lot worse. And it is. This also now includes sending you into the clink, into prison if your dog attacks. And as a decoy, I should get 3 life sentences. And I think the RSPCA will probably propose to have the death penalty put on me. And also, this is an interesting one, streamlining external review process for regulated dogs to minimise unnecessary delays experienced by council and relevant parties. That is so they can kill your dog quickly. So I just wanted to quickly touch on my experience in this field and also the biggest causes of dog attacks in Queensland, and this may surprise you who the culprits are. And also I'm going to recap the last Pitbull ban and what an abortion that was. It was an absolute cluster and it cost the taxpayers millions, but don't worry about it. The RSPCA made a fortune. So for those who don't know me or my experience in dog training, I've been training dogs professionally for 36 years and training dogs in general for 40 years, including being a decoy for 40 years, training thousands and thousands of dogs to do bite work for law enforcement and security. I also train animal control officers and many different groups on proper evaluation and safety evaluations of aggressive dogs. I teach dog bite prevention seminars for the last 30 years and I've done hundreds of them all over the world. Now on top of that, I'm also a published author, 3 times published author, and I've written books on dog bite prevention. So I've got a little bit of an idea on what I'm talking about. So what do you think are the biggest causes of dog attacks in Queensland? Now, a dog just does not attack for no reason unless it's idiopathic rage, but there's always a chain of events which brings a dog to actually bite another animal or a person. Now, it might surprise you, but here it is. What has caused more dog attacks in Queensland has been veterinary surgeons, the Queensland government, and the RSPCA and their flying monkeys and their pure positive force-free cult. These 3 organisations alone have been responsible for more dog attacks in Queensland than anything else. Now, think about it for a second. You can pause the video now and discuss why this is so. And I'll get back to you and let you know why the vets, the RSPCA and the Queensland government has caused more dog attacks than anything else. Okay, so number 1, the veterinary surgeons. Now, the biggest reason for dog attacks in Queensland is because of unsocialised dogs. Now, dogs that do not go out and are unsocialised as puppies see things for the first time when they get older. And what actually happens, it creates a strong suspicion level. They start to get paranoid about the outside world. They become dependent. They get a separation anxiety. They get overprotective. And suspicion triggers aggression. So dogs that are totally unsocialised are the main reason for dogs to attack. And what's the main reason they are not socialised? It's because at just about every private lesson, this is 9 out of 10 dogs from clients that I see that have unsocialised dogs that have aggression issues because of the lack of socialisation. I ask them, why didn't you take the dog out and socialise it when it was young? They said, because it's unvaccinated. And I said, okay, who told you to isolate the dog until after the vaccinations? And just about every time, nearly 100% of the time, they said the veterinary surgeon or the vet nurse told me to keep the dog away until it's had all its vaccinations. This one piece alone has created more dog attacks than anything else. Not only dog attacks, but dependency-based problems, which goes to chewing and barking and different things. Separation anxiety problems where the dogs will be howling and stuff like this. But when the dog has been unsocialized, and to get the perfect storm, if you've got a genetically strong character dog, give them no socialization, you can create a dangerous dog and a land shark. And this is all caused by an unsocialized dog, and the chain of events is because the vet told me so. The vet, with this stupid advice, is responsible for so many dog attacks in Queensland because he tells people to isolate the dogs till after vaccinations. To be careful, all you have to do is avoid high-risk areas, like vet surgeries, you know, where they teach puppy preschool in the same place they treat parvo and kennel cough, or avoid dog parks and kennels, but take them to markets, take them to safe places, socialise the dogs heavily. This will stop numerous amounts of dog attacks, but the vet surgeon is responsible on why responsible pet owners avoid taking the dogs out, because they listen to veterinary advice, which ends up destroying their dogs. The Queensland government before the Palachooks. Now, this government caused that many dog attacks with the last American Pitbull ban, and I'm going to explain why. The pit bulls, when they became banned, there were still just as many there, but they were all underground. They just did not take them out. So you had hundreds and hundreds of pit bulls which were bred, kept in houses, kept in backyards, and not taken out anywhere. It also made a lot of people start dobbing people in that looked like they had pit bulls. So all these dogs are completely and totally isolated, which then caused a dog attack epidemic where when the pit bulls got out, they became land sharks and they started attacking anything that moved. So the last dog attack epidemic was caused by the state government and their banning. And I know of many, many stories of unsocialized pit bulls which have turned out to be quite aggressive. Many of them were not even vaccinated because they were worried about being dobbed into the council, then having their dog restricted by putting into a cage for the rest of their life, or put down or confiscated. And I even know one person who took their dog to get vaccinated to the vet dobbed her into the council. She then had to comply to all these restrictions, and she couldn't because she was renting, so she had to get the dog put down. So she went back to the vet and made her put the dog down. Says, "You're not putting this dog down, you're murdering it." And this was part of the problem by banning breeds. You isolate them, you send them underground, they're unsocialized, and you're going to have a lot of dangerous dogs. Queensland government caused the last dog bite epidemic with the pit bull ban. The RSPCA and their pure positive force-free training ideology, which is more or less a cult, and it's a failure, it's a fraud, and it does not work with a lot of the aggressive dogs. If you have a look at the RSPCA success rate on fixing behaviour problems, impounded dogs, they're killing off nearly 70% of them for behavioural problems because their force-free, pure positive rubbish does not work. So with the aggressive dogs, it's going to be an absolute and total failure. What they suggest that you do is that if the dog's aggressing, well, you can ignore the dog, walk away, and hopefully the dog doesn't kill that person or another dog, or you can wave a Scooby snack in front of it, or you can actually go to the positive dog trainer's Bible and run away from the dog, so the dogs will think, "Oh, I wonder where you're going," and chase you. So there's so much unicorn riding extremist rubbish that is pushed by the RSPCA, and because they are pushing that you cannot discipline the dog in any way, this is where the dogs are doing what they want when they want with no boundary at all, and it's caused by you, the RSPCA, the biggest cause on a lot of dog attacks, and a lot of dogs get put down, but don't worry, you make money out of putting the dogs down anyway. So let's have a look at, we'll go back to the Queensland legislation here. It says, a person in charge of a dog has obligations under the Act to prevent the dog from acting aggressively or attacking. Owners must be able to recognise and respond effectively to all signs of concerning behaviour with the dog. So if the dog's got aggression there, oh, that's right, the RSPCA has banned pinch collars. So now people that wish to take a strong character dog for a walk and have 100% control of them on a beautiful training tool like the pinch collar, now they're banned. So now they can't take the dog for a walk, or they can't control the dog on a walk, and the dog's going to end up attacking a person or attacking another dog, because all the management tools the RSPCA is pushing to ban. Next is going to be the electric collars, and that's going to create numerous dog attacks, numerous livestock attacks. There's going to be so many dramas because the RSPCA has taken all our tools to manage dogs away from us. So the RSPCA, you're responsible for a lot of dead dogs and a lot of dog attacks here in Queensland. So the last pit bull ban they did many years ago, and this is before the Palachooks, that was a total cluster, and there was thousands and thousands of pit bulls that lost their life for no other reason but because of the breed they were. Many family pets were taken away from families and destroyed, and many families couldn't afford to save their dogs because they couldn't afford the appeal, the legal fees, or the new requirements and regulations and registration fees for the dogs. So it did affect quite a lot of people. The secondary thing that happens, that many people that had pit bulls were hiding them, and as a result we had a whole stack of unsocialized dogs, which created another dog bite epidemic due to the unsocialized dogs, and also created an underground network or trading network of pit bulls. It also created numerous unvaccinated dogs because people are too scared to take their dogs to the vet. So there's just some of the problems there. And with the lady that did the pit bull identification chart to train all the animal control officers on how to identify American pit bulls, she did such a great job with them. So they had to figure out, is this a poodle or a pit bull? Does this dog have a bricker as a head or whatever? So I've seen the forums. I've been around a lot of the guys that were learning how to identify a pit bull, and they just went to work and started bringing them all in. Well, the RSPCA was so impressed with her that she changed her name, and they gave her a full-time job as a manager at an RSPCA facility. So there you go. When you look at it, is it welfare or is it profits? And I can quite easily see there's profits with everything. And it's like the pharmaceutical industry. There's no money in a cure. You got to create customers. It's like The Voice, which is going on at the moment. There's no money in unity. You need to divide. And this is the same with the RSPCA, and this is the same with the pit bull banning. There is no money in welfare, but you can use it for compliance. There's a lot of money in compliance, and this is where everyone's going to make the money. The top end of town, the lawyers, the solicitors, the RSPCA, the council, everyone's going to make a dollar out of it, and it's all paid by you, the dog owner, and these poor, unfortunate breeds that they decide to ban. Remember, they did that in the 70s. They did it with the Dobermans, they did the Rottweilers, the Shepherds, the Pit Bulls, and now they're coming after other ones there. Stop in its tracks. Don't let it happen. I'm Gaz Jackson. I'm here for the dog owner and the dog. Bye for now.